line, put a lot of pressure on him as well. I know you did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's pulled it together because
He
he's
helped.
got what it takes. So
Quantum literally uncovered Daisy Moss's lies.
What?
You ready for the tea? A lot happened while you've been gone. A lot.
Okay.
Look, Moss has been great, and it sucks that I even have to say anything bad about it, but you know, what am I gonna do? Right? But I think we all know at one point we started talking very heavily about whether or not we needed to do replacements. I mean, as far back as before even Tilly left. She was pretty much telling us to get them out, right?
Yeah.
They weren't producing. They were flaky on their promises. We couldn't really expect anything out of them, even like just something as simple as training. I remember one comment hit me deeply was, oh, yeah, we planned to do training back in October. Like, okay, what? But no one signed up. Like, hello? So then what are you going to do to fix it? Right? And I think I was just genuinely too nice. And I think part of it was isn't really many pieces that we can work with, right? So a changing of the guard just wasn't available. But prior to the election, just watching the shit show, present itself, specifically, you know, the Haiti situation, right? They got mag dumped. I think you know about this. The thing, the Ming, and just the immobility of them, right? They weren't even willing to like really figure out a solution with Ray. Now all of them are about to get ACR'd by Tony. But it got worse. Is that instead of the PD locking it in, and instead of them like bolstering someone like Maxwell was voted unanimously no for high command as a captain.
On what grounds? She was doing
brain deadedness.
Just making everyone else look bad.
That's the best way to describe it. We had Skyfae, the serial backstabber of Moss and Peters, who all of a sudden became like Moss's confidant. You had Trig, who was gone and then had medical issues for the past month. Not in a strange way, right?
Yeah.
You had Peters, who Moss at that point I had called out. She kept throwing this guy under the bus, ignoring him, wasn't including him and shit, right? And I noticed that. In fact, I asked him. There was a couple times I said, like, are there problems between you two? Because like the distance between them was palpable. Obviously, Peters being the bulldog isn't going to say anything wrong, but you could tell like he was just there now. He would go and back her, and then she would like fucking throw him under the bus. But those throwing under the bus got worse. The point of the whole thing with Maxwell was that she was supposed to be given a plan to help solve the problems she was facing. Fuck the rank. But that's all it was translated to. It got worse, man. Like, I'm just going to give you some of the high-level things. When I started to notice things were sussy, when instead of bringing Trig back to reality, Trig decides to go on hiatus, start working senior buns and shit the day that Maxwell was promoted. And she got promoted because a conversation between me, Turner, and Moss, in which I stood silent, and Turner asked her, like, who are your all-stars? She's like, Maxwell. And she's like, then why aren't you not making Maxwell a captain, right? And this was all because Moss was doing all the work while her high command literally just jerked off in a corner, right? And she'd rather take on the pain than face it. I don't understand the self-destructiveness, right? I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. Because I can only have so much sympathy. She did it to herself, right? And we kept helping. If anything, we probably, I don't know, whatever. She went to go get Trig out of the DOC because he went over there to like fucking cry. And she's on the ground like moping and shit, saying how I'm not letting her quit. Overheard by 4 different individuals, including Quantum. Another DOC guard as well. That gets back to me. She lies about Stevie and Vivian just being there to support her friends, but it's very clear that it was more than that. Without going into details. The next day, things are fine according to her. Everything's sorted out with Trig. She's telling me this while Trig is now going around apparently telling people that he got a promotion.
Oh, shit.
All the while, he's telling, like, shit-talking Maxwell and pretty much saying she didn't deserve it. Fuck him. I hope he dies. I hope maybe he goes and visits Moss and the plane crashes. Because the sheer amount of selfishness, disgusting. But even worse so that Moss actively began to lie to her own captains, to us, feeding everybody what they wanted to hear, causing so much fucking disarray and being completely ignorant to it. I was so fucking pissed yesterday night hearing the updates. And that what was happening in front of me. And realizing how much of a fucking, like, snake she became. For what end? I don't fucking know. Do everything to just protect this guy. For what? I don't know what.
Yeah.
I told her we were going to skip the meeting between me, Turner, and Moss. She wanted the meeting anyway, so we attended. And at the end of it, like, I wasn't really saying much. She kept picking at what the problem was. I think she understood that her time was done. And she quit. And she had the fucking audacity to say that we never supported her.
Wow.
Fucking bitch. Can you imagine that?
I'm struggling to think of what more we could have possibly fucking done. I fired her sooner?
Yeah. You know, even in those last conversation, I kept a lot of my opinion in. When I asked her about, like, the firing thing, she said it wasn't true. Right? But then she had the audacity that she goes, but, you know, I kept telling you I wanted to leave. And then it's like, but now I'm locked in. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, flaky shit. It's like, okay, do you want to quit or not? Like, how many times did I fucking ask her and Peters? Probably in front of you, too. Yeah. So, like, you're an adult. If you're done, you say you're done. Right?
That's it.
And then, like a fucking child, she decides, get on a plane, get the fuck out of here. Didn't even tell anybody. You know what I mean? Jesus.
I feel like we both had a sense, right?
Yeah.
You know, the words were saying one thing, but the actions were saying the complete opposite. So,
be a mind reader.
I wish I could say, I'm not surprised, though. Yeah. I'm not surprised that this is the outcome.
Hey, in the grand scheme of things, it worked out because I think Turner, by these actions, was able to see just how desolate things have become. And, you know, he's, you know what's happening right now? I'm sitting here and I know he's cooking. I can guarantee you he's probably talking to an officer and finding a way to make things better.
You know, I'm going to say this. I have a really, really hard time blaming this on Moss when I think she's actually just a victim of the culture of the PD in general. She just wasn't capable of changing it.
I agree with you up until the fact that instead of honestly telling us she was done, she instead chose to lie to us and literally manipulated her own high command into hating each other. Brother, she literally had the audacity to throw Vivian under the bus and say she tried to take everything that Trig did and tried to put it on Vivian. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, she even had shit to say about Ruby. And brother, I have more reason to have grudges on Ruby. The fuck is, like they saying about Ruby? She's not doing this, she's not doing that. Like, oh, but every time I ask, like, she says she's good. I'm like, that's not a leader. Just because someone says they're good doesn't mean that they're good. Doesn't mean you get to wash your hands and walk away.
Yeah.
It was just like, I don't think she realized it, ignorance, whatever, that they created a fucking really toxic workplace environment.
Big time. Big time. So have you
Swedish, thank you for the 3 months. Turner.
Interim or?
Interim. He's
Okay.
going to be observing, and over the next 2 weeks, we're not going to say exactly the timeline. I'll put
Mm.
a date to it. Get things kind of in a good place and see who's cooking and who's not, and we're going to have like a direct insight as to what our short list is going to look like.
I don't know Turner well, but I feel like I know him well enough that he will not fall victim to the culture the same way that Moss did. Moss, I feel like she was a different person going in than she was coming out. You know what I mean? And I feel like Turner, at the very least, isn't going to change who he is.
No.
And he's not going to let the PD change who he is.
I don't know what happened to Moss. She like one day just had this like odd like it's like she contracted brain rot where all of a sudden her friends, her personal friends meant more than the city, meant more than the PD, meant more than anything. And it was incredible to listen to. But then again, maybe we were the ones on copium. I mean, we were promised fucking training.
Yeah.
That's what we hired her on. Remember that?
We did.
And then I think we just got stuck. I mean, fuck. I mean, had Turner not shown up, I don't know who I'd pick.
You asked me to make a list. The only name I had on the list was Maxwell, because I couldn't come up with a single other name that even kind of scratched the surface of what was needed to be the chief. And even then, Maxwell's great. Maxwell does a shit ton of work, but
I think Turner might be able to set her on exactly the right track.
that's what I mean. She never had someone to kind of take her under their wing.
Yep.
Like upskill her, train her.
Exactly the task we gave Moss. Exactly the task we gave Peters when it came to On Fire. Right?
Well, and you remember I said this to you. Why the fuck are they not promoting internally? Why is that not happening? And it's because they're not fucking. They think training ends at the end of academy. That's bullshit.
Yeah, well,
that's the beginning. That's the front door. You know what I mean? You got one foot in. You got a shit ton of training left to do. I don't know. So Turner and Peter stay on?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think we're in for once in a long time, I feel like I don't have to worry about the police department. Wake up every fucking day and be freaking out because, you know what? They decide to go fuck off again.
Yeah.
I think that was the most frustrating bit about it all. I can take on the fucking task, right? But, if you not want the job, then fuck off. You tell me.
Yeah.
And if you try to hold that against me, I'm the wrong fucking guy to play those games with. Speaking of, Wyatt.
Yeah, I've gotten a bit more of an update. I took a week away, and it was a good week. I'm not gonna lie. Things were busy. I had some time to think, and I think you know me well enough to know that I know what it takes to be a good public servant, and being a good public servant often involves implementing things that you don't necessarily agree with. And I've done a lot of that. We've seen eye to eye more often than not, but sometimes I'm not where you are, but I push it forward anyways because that's part of the job, right? And I've had a lot of grievances with these people at the Material Hub, and I'm gonna ask you to listen for a minute, okay?
Yeah, I'm listening.
A long time ago.
Oh shit!
And when I say that,
here comes
I
the
mean
tea. Listen up, Cat.
A long time ago, I had the whole idea for the Material Hub, and what it was meant to be was not a place to buy shit. It was just meant to be a place where you knew someone would always be. Effectively, it was the court center. And to make that happen, I had conversations with Cloak. I had conversations with Audrey Rose, and we came to an agreement that we were going to try and see this through. But we needed a property. And to get that, we all put $1 million forward. And when that wasn't enough, I was asked to put forward my commercial property. You know about this. So I'm in for $2.5 million. Everyone else is in for one, but we make it happen. We get that space from Maynard. It's right next to the Lumber Co. Everything's great. But when it came time to decide whose name was going to be on the building, it had to be Cloak's. She was worried that, under anyone else, they could become a criminal. It could get raided, something. Like, of course, the right hand of the mayor just out there doing crime all the time. But anyways, can I take that?
Go on.
I put the idea ahead of myself, and I'm good with it. Fine. You want your name on the deed, you put your name on the fucking deed. I don't really care. And then a month passes by. Everything's good. We're up in business. The place is decorated. And I wake up one morning. There's a fucking laundry list of material orders that people are placing. So I start calling people. You need 10K. This guy needs 20. This guy needs 5, whatever. I go out. I make the deliveries, get the payment, send the bank transfers. And 8 hours later, I get an email. And it says, "Did you sell materials?" I said, "Yeah, of course I did." "Oh, those were for Mopec." And I said, well, then why the fuck were they in our storages and not in the Lumber Co. storages where they're supposed to be? And I don't get an answer. But an hour later, I get a message, and it says, effective immediately, all material sales are to go through Cloak or 7. We've started a wait list. And I say, well, the fucking hell you have. Like, that's not the idea of our business. The idea of our business is you call anyone, you get what you want. You can't just unilaterally decide that. That's not what a partnership is. So I do what any non-petty individual does, and I say, effective immediately, every wood sale needs to go through Michael Rozelle. Go fuck yourself. And that's the situation that that was the spark that lit the fire. Okay. A couple days go by. It's awkward as fuck. And I go to walk into the hub one day. I open the door. There's keypads on all my storages. There's keypads on all my wood storage. There's keypads on all my benches. All my blueprints are stolen. All my wood's gone. I'm pulled off the panel. And at this point, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? So I walk out. But before I walked out, I turned around and I looked inside the building one last time. And you know what I saw? I saw a fucking trash diner with trash juice tubes and shit. And I realized this wasn't 3 people's vision. This was one person's vision. One person got everything that they wanted, and everyone else was just willfully complicit. And
who was that?
Cloak. So I walked out, and I was fine with it.
Holy fuck!
I spoke with 7. We came to an agreement that they would pay me out the $2.5 million that I was bought in for, and we'd go our separate ways. Right? No hard feelings. Wasn't for me. Didn't work out. Shit happens. 3 weeks later, they finally send me $1 million with a follow-up message that says we're working on the other $1.5 million. It's been 3 months. They haven't answered a single one of my text messages, all of which read something like, "Hey, 7, just following up on that final payment." And I don't get an answer. So the last time I was in the city, I'm down at the Lumber Co. delivering wood to them. And Wyatt says to me, "Hey, you missed the meeting with Nino and Cloak." I said, "Oh, well, what happened?" And Wyatt said it wasn't really much of anything.
I knew
but
it
the
was
plan
Wyatt.
was that they'd work out the details of how Mopec is going to transfer over, and they might be getting keys to drop the materials off. Wasn't much more than that.
Yeah.
But in my head, right, I'm thinking, why the fuck can't these people just be like every other civilian in the city and sell it to courts? Why do they need a key? Why do they need special privilege? Why should people who fucked me over be given an advantage over the Roddies of the world, who are sanitation workers that sell directly? I'm gonna finish the story.
Mm.
And so that's when I was like, I got to take a little time away. And I'll be honest, I wavered a little bit, but like I said, at the end of the day, I know what a good public servant is,
Mm.
and I'm not going to let that get all of my feelings, right? It is what it is. I can live with them having a set of keys. I don't really give a shit. But then
Mm.
and that's where I'm at, to be clear.
Yeah.
But I find out now that they're starting up a furniture company. And I just
Mm.
can't help but
What is
think to
it called?
myself, the Furniture Hub.
Isn't that? Are you sure that's theirs?
It is.
Oh, Furniture Hub. Oh,
Yeah.
this isn't the one that Jordan has.
No. This is all under the same umbrella. And this is my thinking, right? The
Okay.
pie is only so big in the city.
And they're trying
And
to monopolize. Yeah.
everything. I get if you want to be the material
Yeah.
powerhouse in the city. I get that. But Wyatt and Cloak had a falling out because she was sticking her nose in operational decisions that he didn't or she didn't like about his business. That's none of your fucking business. If he's not running his business the way that you like it,
Yeah.
then don't do business with him.
Mm.
But she's trying to actively put him out of business. And that's where I have an issue with it.
So
It's
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say it's not going to affect my work here. It's just really bothering me that one group of people are trying to take everything from everyone. They hired all my lumberjacks. They used all my blueprints to start their own lumber operation to push me out of the industry. That's who these people are.
So I think there's a couple things that I'm going to be very forward about. I do not trust Wyatt. And this is not just because how do I put this? Wyatt is strung from the same cloth that Moss ended up mirroring. I believe that that there's a couple things sort of at play here. Wyatt has his own malicious intents, and part of that is attempting to manipulate me. If Wyatt had come to me with truth and not what could best be described as like a CNN Fox like opinion piece filled with dog shit, I'd probably look at him different. Now keep in mind I've supported that man for fucking months. And that includes knowing, largely in due part to knowing the original lumber union guy, whatever the fuck his name was.
Jack
Kettleman.
Yeah.
But one thing I told myself I wouldn't get involved in was the Tweety and Wyatt thing. But it still fucked with me for a long while. That at the end of the day, Wyatt got screwed, but Tweety was sick. And to take advantage of that, you have to really love your money. But I was willing to say I don't know enough about the situation to really say make a judgment, right? And I only had working for me Tweety's hardworkingness, her willingness to jump and up and do things for free for people at any moment, get people fed. I saw her work ethic and then I had Wyatt's very plain
Mopey.
and the amount of times I've had to stop him from jumping off of a cliff. Endless times, right? Oh my God, I'm gonna quit. Oh my God, I want you to buy this. Oh my God. Like just fucking crying little pussy bitch. And I describe it like that because what actually happened and why it's curious to me that he came to you is he tried to manipulate me over this whole Mopec shit. Because he called me after Cleo and him spoke. And he said that for months now they've been stealing money. And for months now, they have been migrating materials only to their own repair shop. In other words, the allegations were pretty tremendous.
Mm.
Now, don't get me wrong here. What you describe, I believe you. It sounds like Cleo screwed you over.
Mm-hmm.
However, for me to believe that she would screw me over and be so brazen about it, it didn't add up. I'm sure she has an idea what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And after just being like, sounding like I had, like Wyatt was coming at me like, I can't believe this is happening and they're doing this and like, I'm ready to get up. Like, just, he just couldn't process. And he was crashing out, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I told him, okay, listen, send me the transaction sheet. First, he tells me it doesn't exist. And he goes, oh, that thing. Sends it to me.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden his tune changes. Because in plain, very kept up to date detail are 7 different mechanic shops quite fairly being getting material in the same quantities for weeks. And in that moment, I told myself, I don't trust you. And then came the recent allegations that the court center is price fixing. Timely.
What?
Yep. That we're ruining the material market.
Well, who said that?
Not any of the proper businesses around the city.
Hmm.
I made the phone calls. Rizzo's been going and double checking too. So this stupid little fucking dumb cunt, crying ass motherfucker, can go carve himself a fucking dildo and shove it up his ass.
Jesus.
Now, in regards to Cleo and this location, the plan is that the court center functions equally purchasing in batches from various sanitation crews, right? Not just the material hub, but the handful of others out there, so that we're buying in bulk from multiple ones. Whether they got keys or not, that's another matter. As to the transitionary plan, it's intended to be transitionary, right? So as not to destabilize their operations until it does all go through courts.
To be clear, when I tell you the story that I told you, it's not for validation. It's not for you to coddle me, come to my rescue, or change your mind. Do whatever the fuck you want. That's your prerogative. You're the mayor. I give you context. You make a decision based off of it. I'm still going to come to work the next day. You get me?
Yeah. And I need that insight, you know?
Yeah.
San Andreas is a fucking nasty place. People like to look after themselves, but you know what? Why it's gonna be an interesting one.
You know, the comparison you make between him and Moss, I think it rings a lot truer than you think. I think Wyatt is holding on to his role at the lumber company, much like Moss does with the PD, where, you know, the actions tell you that he doesn't want it anymore. You just got to give it up. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you are going to keep crashing out. I think that's probably a big motivator behind his actions and words lately.
No, this energy targeting someone like Tweety, and then in this case, Cleo, inappropriate. Like, had you snapped months ago, understandable, right? Him over this recent thing, fine. But you gotta fucking match the energy properly. Like, you had reason. I don't know what the fuck this guy is a problem with.
I wish I had an answer other than
Petty civilian pussy shit.
well, he's had the entire weight of the city's furnishing needs on his shoulders, and I'm like, brother, you need to just just hand it over. But it's this, the city needs me, right?
They don't.
That's what I told them. Someone else will pop up. And I think he'd be okay with that. It's just that right now that someone else is the material hub.
Hmm.
And like I said, I don't like when so much of the pie is being given to one group of people, because to me it
No.
just slams doors in the face of everyone else. So I get where he's coming from to an extent, but the guy just needs to pass the keys off to someone else because it's killing him. I'll tell you that.
Hmm. I don't know where I'm gonna handle Wyatt. I took his keys. I told him like, listen, we got this from here, da 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 da. But I don't think I'm gonna bring it up. It's just some fucking dumb shit, to be honest. He wants to chat. I'm willing to talk to him, but I'm not fucking dumb. I don't think he realizes how connected, like, we have been.
Yeah.
Like, it's I don't know.
I'll be honest, I don't know what there is to talk about.
I think I'm gonna warn him that if he is the source of the rumors, that he needs to stop, and if he's not, to ignore it.
You want me to talk to him?
No,
I'd rather stay out of it.
I think that's a me conversation. Let me see if he's around right now. Nick just texted me. Steady 100. Easy. Do you have a flight school account?
Simone?
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Holy shit. If you don't make a business
pilot's licenses, I've got like
called
100 unread text
LS
messages from
Flight
Puddles on my
School
phone.
and put it in, I will approve. That way you have an account. Oh my god. He got it up and going.
Hell yeah.
Oh. You see danger back there?
Mm-hmm.
Things are going in a very good direction. Holy fuck.
Did you open last week?
No, but Rizzo's aiming for a more consistent opening. And he's been cooking with the intern.
That's good. That's good. Honestly, I saw him pop up, and I could tell you I was filled with joy. I love that guy.
Yeah, same. He's the which next comes Corolla. That's the potential second source of the complaints. I don't know how to say this in any other way. I love Corolla. She's amazing. But man, she's got some very fucking dog shit friends.
What happened now?
You know when she was kind of like crashing out like a week or two ago? And she's like, oh my god, you guys are just taking all the money from all the rich people. And then she had problems with Jason. And like, but Jason, what the fuck did Jason do?
Yeah.
Right? The problem is that, like, I think, and maybe I'm misfiring here, but I've met some of her friends. It might even be her husband or something. I you know the guy, you know what I'm talking about? The lawyer guy? Shit, you don't know, do you?
No.
He's some, like, dumb fuck Duma, right?
Okay.
And so some of the things that she was bringing up to me, like, reeked of that guy.
Not talking about Wyatt, are you?
No. I don't know what the fuck the guy's name is. He works
a
up
joke.
north at that Polito repair shop.
Oh, pit stop, pit stop. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like Corolla's fucking amazing, right?
Mm, mm,
But like, you know, there was first the crash out, right? Like weeks ago, and the whole like out of the blue, just like we're taking money from all, like making all these people rich, and we don't care about civilians. And I'm just like so confused, right?
mm.
Because like we'd opened twice, like, you know what I mean? I think some of it miscommunication, understandable, right?
Sure, sure.
But some of the dooming didn't really make any sense because it's like, where is that coming from? It's like, you know, the equation doesn't add up, right? It goes against the antithesis of, or it's the antithesis of what we are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I already kind of thought that, but then rumors about her having a problem with Jason and certain contractions and all this like recycle, like, you know, the fucking price fixing shit coming up. Like, I'm just,
Mm.
I don't think she's the right fit here at Quartz. I don't want her to break over it. Now, she is on leave, but I think at most her working here under someone is the only possible way forward.
I think I don't even know what she wants. I'll be honest with you.
Hmm.
I I don't know the circumstance under which you brought her on. Like what the nature of the conversation was that made you want to bring her into the cabinet. And I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to be here. I think she does. She's lovely. She's valuable. Her opinions are valuable. But I'm not quite sure what she wants. And I'm not sure she really knows what she wants, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think you need to have that in sight, right? You need to know what you're trying to accomplish. Otherwise, you're gonna get beaten up.
Mm.
You're gonna take it personally, and you're gonna take it on the chin. And that's kind of how I feel with her, is that, you know, she had courts on her shoulders, and I get that, right? That's
Mm.
a heavy burden to bear. But if it's not what you want, right? If it's not what you signed up for, you need to speak up.
I think she wants to help people,
Mm,
and I think she saw the court center as a way to do it. And I respect the fuck out of that.
of course.
But I think the burden of what it comes with may have been outside of a scope,
Mm,
right? Which is why, you know, she was prone to a lot of very poor voices, right?
mm,
I don't want her out of courts. The option will still be there. It's just we gotta figure out what she wants, and that's what she's taking the time for, right?
mm.
But if she wants back in, that we bring her in a position that makes sense,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. You know, this all reminds me of Jasmine. We had Jasmine on the cabinet.
Yeah.
She never really knew what the point of it was, right? She had no purpose. And it wasn't until we got her linked up with Johnny, she was doing that PD live, that she was like a totally different person after she started doing that, because she was enjoying what she was doing. And I feel like Corolla is kind of in the same vein. Different circumstance and different person. But I feel like she needs that spark.
Yeah, it's just we don't have the time to. I think part of it too is like the cabinet requires everyone to be able to function when I'm not there, right?
Mhm.
I will say that, mind you, that Maeve had a very similar conversation to me. She feels a little disconnected and this and that, and I tried to tell her in so many words, like, I cannot give you things.
Yeah.
It's impossible. We got too much going on. You have to carve your own space when we're not around, and we meet after the meetings, and if you're disconnected, you have to make that effort, right? Otherwise, it's just not going to work, right? I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I have the weight of the world on my shoulders,
Mhm.
right? And I'm not trying to break either. You know what I mean?
I hear that. I hear that. I
Maeve
mean,
understood. We had a good conversation after that check-in. Just to be
that's
clear.
good. I mean, this is how I view my situation, right?
Yeah.
I know when I'm gonna see you. We basically have a schedule. But
Mhm.
outside of that, my role is to kind of bring you the context of the people. So when I'm not beside you, I'm out doing what the
Mm.
fuck ever around people, getting their opinions, asking questions and shit. So I have that context to bring back to you or to put into my work, whether it be legislation or otherwise. I think that people need to realize that there's more to the cabinet than just meetings. Right? You got to get out there. You got to talk to
Mm.
people. Otherwise, we're just the fucking BCSO locked in our sheriff's office, not doing a damn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
You better. I take it back. I didn't mean that.
Oh, fuck. Bro, I am so fucking cooked. Can't believe they dropped the, hey, let's just change constitution at the end of the fucking meeting.
You surprised?
I think they
You're
mean
cooked.
well.
I'm fucking cooked. I am so fucking tired right now. You have no idea. I just sleep in my
A
own
lot of
bed
flying.
tonight. Oh my god, it's the fucking worst. Wait, can I say that? Ah, fuck it.
Say what?
It's the fucking worst.
Why can't you say that?
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Hypersensitive, okay?
It's the
Thin
fucking
skin.
worst? Wait, how is that? That's like the least bad thing you can say. What the fuck? Is that like mean something else in Canada?
No. It's just, you know, it's not as polarizing up there as it is down here. You can get away with fucking murder in America right now.
Oh. Yeah, we have been, to be honest.
That's why I said it.
Oh my god. All
Half
right.
my days strategizing around you crazy fucks. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a
Oh,
fucking nightmare.
with the tariffs and all that.
I'm gonna build a wall around you.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Make you pay for it.
I won't lie. I have considered moving to Canada.
Great.
Yeah. Except hey, at least your housing is regulated. Is it all of Canada or what?
It's not really regulated. It's just
Mm.
not as bad as the States. I mean, the
If
housing
it wasn't
market's
so
fucked
fucking
globally.
cold.
That's it. You go to Vancouver where, you know, like a 1-bedroom apartment downtown is like $1.5 million a month.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Weather's not that bad there. Toronto the same. You get like a foot of snow. Come up north, I got fucking 12-foot snowbanks. I can't even see out my driveway.
Yeah.
It's like asking to get T-boned.
Yeah. All right, brother. I am going to make my final calls and then call it for the evening. I'll be around
yeah.
over the weekend, but I know your schedule's going to be...
Nah, I'll be over here. I'll be here for the
You'll be
weekend.
here?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Monday gets busy again, but I'll find time. Who knows? Maybe 1 month from now I'll be retired. I have all the time in the world.
I think I would recommend you have a chat with Danger.
Oh yeah.
He's right over there.
Yeah, we'll do.
There he comes. Hey, Danger, have a chat with Michael. Get to know each other.
We'll talk tomorrow, Nino.
All right, you take care.
Have a good one.
What are you doing, Danger?